Our state has some incredible problems. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. I'm here to talk about that with you and talk about the trends that have shaped this state and dragged us in one direction or another. We're not really we're not realizing the dream we had way back in the early 2000s or even around 2008 or 9 or 10. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. Welcome to WOWBIZ Nebraska. We're going to get it on right now. Hey, we're here at WOWBIZ Nebraska. I'm Lynn Hinderrocker. This is an exciting show. We're always talking about business evolution and innovation. We're introducing lots of people to you that I know you're listening to carefully because you want to be a more accomplished entrepreneur, a business executive, and this will give you an opportunity to do that here. So thanks for watching. This show, by the way, is brought to you by Curzon Promotional Graphics. You've heard me talk about them before many times for whatever kind of graphic, including the backdrop you see right here. Go to Curzon Promotional Graphics here in the Omaha, Nebraska area. Also, alphatech.com, the most convenient computer repair operation you'll ever hear about. Go to alphatech1.com, extremely convenient. We'll talk about them more later on, but we want to talk to Dawn right now. Dawn Howell from here in the Omaha area in eastern, or I guess it'd be western Iowa. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Yeah. Hey, you know, you have been doing something that so many people that watch this show are all about. They want to invent a solution to a problem. That brings us to our beautiful little puppy right here, right?
Yes, that is a diaper wrap, but it can be used for many purposes, stabilizing the dog's back and also for anxiety. It helps my dogs calm down, and it's helped many dogs calm down, especially over the shoulder.
Is that right?
The back.
Now, who would have known that? I mean, I definitely get the idea of a doggy diaper. I think it's very clever. And that's never been done prior to this time? Is that pretty much correct?
Well, there's anxiety wraps.
Okay, all right.
The main purpose of this wrap is to hold a diaper on a dog.
Okay.
And how this all got started.
Yes, please give us a brief background, because there's so much to discuss about the process,
Yes.
really.
I got a dog, my dog Sammy, and we got him in the winter of 2000, well, it was 2008. Mm-hmm. And we had like 27 inches of snow on the ground, and he was like this big, tiny.
I'm with you on this. I actually have two small dogs, so I can
trained
empathize.
him to go in a Tupperware container. Well, then after the snow melted, he was bigger, and I taught him to go down the stairs of our deck.
Yeah.
And I thought I had him trained. Next thing I know, we're moving furniture around, and there's pee all over.
Right.
All over
we're familiar with this syndrome. All dog owners kind of know this idea.
So I tried. He's a very unique dog. He's deaf. He's got his own personality, and he'll do what Sammy wants to do. And he was a chronic marker. We did what we were supposed to do with him at 6 months.
Sure.
We, neutered him like usual, but it didn't help.
Very challenging.
He is a chronic marker.
Okay, okay. And I understand that, I really do. So I mean, how did you go from, oh my gosh, what a constant mess this is, to, I think I could design something to cover him up, or what?
The day it started was he marked my pillow. So
That'll always get you going.
I went and bought stuff, and I tried different things, and I thought, I could do this better. So I got the machine out, and I have a bag of prototypes.
Okay.
And I just developed
And you got to the sewing machine, right? Is that what you did? Yeah.
Well, I had an old one. Okay. It was like an old
right.
And it was like
did you draw it out a little bit?
No, I don't draw anything out. I just do.
Okay, all right. So the design was kind of just take a shot at it.
The design just happened on its own.
Yeah.
Because I would go, well, I need this here. I need that there.
That's what they call organic innovation. But keep going. This is so good.
And I just kept doing it until I actually had something people wanted.
Yeah.
So then I started, doing a little bit of research and finding out how big of a problem this is.
Yes.
And people use
worldwide
other things that they put on their floor, and the dog goes there, but that's a mess.
Yes, right.
And
so the problem is pronounced, the problem is consistent, so you could fairly assume that there would be a number of buyers, right?
Yes, it's a different, unique kind of a thing, because people won't admit that they have a problem with their dog until after, like I go to a trade show, I'll give them a card, and then I get the cells. Right. Maybe a month later.
We're all ashamed that our dogs pee on our living room floor.
It's dogs' behavior. Dogs do what dogs do, and there's not much,
absolutely.
No matter how well trained your dog is.
Sure.
First
Okay.
thing they're going to do.
Now, how long did this, once you noticed we had this problem, you're irate about it, and you began working, how long did it take for you to kind of come up with something that you thought was really workable, and this is the design?
About 18 months.
About 18 months, okay.
About
I love
18
this
months.
right off the bat. You stuck with it.
Yeah.
Kept working on it.
Well, and I had my regular job. You know,
Yeah.
I'm a computer programmer.
Okay.
And my degree's in computer science. So I just kept working with my dog until I found something that I could go to work, come home, and he didn't have it off.
Got it. Okay, well, that's exciting. It really is. Let's talk about the product, okay,
Okay.
briefly. Just tell me what we have here. We have various layers.
Well,
we have straps. You know?
Let me show you. This is maybe, you know, it's a little bit different.
Okay,
The
so
neck
it goes across the back there. and
Right.
then-
Certain parts of this got added after. So I originally just started with the wrap itself.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
thought, well, okay, I can, you know, this works.
Right.
Well, then people would come and tell me.
I got it so far. I love
Right.
this idea.
It takes about 30 seconds once you get used to doing it,
Okay,
you know?
okay.
Then people said, well, the shoulder straps come off,
Yeah.
you know, the suspenders. So I incorporated a little neck accessory.
With Velcro.
With
and-
Velcro, yeah. And cut lines so you can make it smaller, whatever.
Got it.
And then you can play with these straps, crisscross them or whatever. My little handy little guy here doesn't need that.
And you can adjust it a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, he's got a pad on,
Okay,
a
yeah.
regular pad.
Okay.
You can't
Now, Are
tell-
they replaceable, the pads, or
Yeah,
like
it's
the linings or
an,
something?
it's an adult pee pad.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, right here.
Okay, all
No,
right.
I'm really.
No, I got you. And that's very bright of you to basically design this so that you could utilize that product that some other manufacturer created.
Well, I have a patent on that too.
Do you?
Not on a pad, but on a diaper for dogs.
Good for
And you can
you.
also put a diaper on the dog. You put a hole in the diaper.
Yes.
I use a size 3 on Sammy, which
Okay.
is my 10. He's not 10 pounds.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, Sammy's only 7, but he likes the bigger diaper. So. Not too tight on him. So I use like a size 3 baby diaper, and I cut a hole in the tail and I wrap it around him. Then I put the pad in there.
So it
and-
works for pee-pee and poo-poo, right?
Yes, whatever
Okay.
you need it for to be a female
I
dog.
mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now he's free to run, and that's not Sammy, but he's free to run wherever he wants to go, and he
Okay.
can mark whatever he wants to mark with no problem.
Now, tell me about the anxiety thing for a second. I don't think I fully get that, but I mean, they just like having something around them that makes them
Well,
feel
it's
secure.
the cow, you know, the cow effect when the cows are all swished together. You know how they're calmer when they're all together.
Well, I've seen a lot of cows squished together. I didn't really realize that.
Well,
but
I mean, when they're all the cows are together, somebody else came up with this.
Okay.
And it calmed the cows down.
Okay.
And
Maybe
you know,
the warmth or something of the body. I don't know. Might be.
you know, and so that's kind of anytime you swaddle a pet, whether it be with a t-shirt during a storm, wrapping it around themselves.
I can relate to that. Yeah. I know. It
Anytime
does
you-
calm them down.
Anytime you wrap, like if you have a storm, you don't need anything specific. You just wrap the dog up with something he's comfortable with. This is
Sure.
my
A little blanket
you know,
or towel or something, huh?
Well, I would say like a t-shirt with your smell on it would be
Oh,
the
okay.
best.
That'd be even better. Sure. Okay, I got it. That's really interesting.
And you
Very
just
interesting.
swaddle them in it.
Yes,
It
yes,
helps.
yes. All right, let's talk about the business side of this. You have some global distribution. You have how does somebody, and you happen to be living in Glenwood, Iowa, which is just outside of Omaha, how do you find a manufacturer somewhere that says, oh yeah, we can make that for you at a reasonable price? How do you find those people, briefly?
What happened with us is that our accountant knew somebody who had gowns made in China.
Oh, that's right. We talked about this before the show. Yeah,
and
yeah.
so they were coming to, and this is a real small manufacturing company.
Yeah.
They do saddlebags and gowns or whatever, small things
Sure.
for people. And
So through a person, a third party that knew about
yeah,
somebody.
and they came to Dallas. They came to Dallas.
Uh-huh.
So we flew to Dallas to meet them.
Yes.
And they had already, I don't know if my accountant had already sent them something. They had already made a sample of my product.
They were hustling. I love it. Proactive. They
So I
wanted
get
the business.
there and I'm like, oh, did I make that? No, I didn't make
that is really cool. So they kind of emulated your design.
Yeah, they did a really good job. It was to sell us on them.
Sure, sure,
And they
sure.
did such a good job. So, and I never use a middleman. It's just me and them.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So how does this find its way to retail and the average person walks down an aisle, in a
That's a
pet
little-
supply store
It's
or
a
what?
little bit harder.
Okay.
That's a little
or
bit harder.
online? You're selling them online?
I sell them online. I was doing Amazon for a while.
Yeah.
I still kind of am on, but I'm not doing Amazon right
Okay.
now for other reasons that,
Okay.
for this product. So
Okay.
I'm not fulfilling those orders right now.
Okay, all right. Well, we understand as you go to market, there are a lot of variables and fluctuations that come up. I mean, I definitely can relate to that, and I think our viewers can as well. But I mean, I must say, I really admire your persistence on this. You worked with it, you identified a problem, you got for 18 months, you messed around with the sewing machine, you created a crude design, it got better and better. I mean, I really admire that, Dawn.
Thank you.
That's an awesome thing. And you've introduced, do you go to shows then, trade shows?
I did trade shows for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
And then they're very costly.
Yes.
I do plan on starting them up again here, if I join this manufacturing company that is looking at us.
Okay.
So, and I think trade shows are in the process again.
Okay.
And then you almost have to travel all over the United States for them to get known.
Yes, yes, and that is expensive, and flying, and bring a little exhibit and display.
It's real cost.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of money, but it's well worth it. And if we ever get to the point where we develop my diaper that I have a patent on, because every dog that wears one of these would use diapers till it.
Well, there's your profit margin, right? You can bring down the cost eventually with the mass production of this,
we tried,
and then charge for the inserts. And
we tried to figure out how that cost would be, and that's a hard number to come at.
Yeah. Well, you got to guess. You'll know the average customer will go through, 22 a week or
22
something.
22 a week, exactly. A pack a week, right?
Seriously?
Yes.
I got it right there.
Well,
you know that I have
pack
dogs,
of 18,
right?
Yeah, a diaper, two diapers a day, or at least 2 to 3 diapers a day versus 2 to 3 pads a day.
Yeah.
Because it's like a baby diaper; it absorbs in, and it doesn't touch their skin.
Yeah.
It pulls away.
Beautiful. Well, I really love this product, and I appreciate you coming here and explaining not just the product, but the mechanics and your experience with it. A lot of people are going to be inspired by just chatting with me about this and all the details and the commitment that you've made to it. It's really an awesome job. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Thank you so much for watching us here on WOWBIZ. I'm so proud to have Dawn Howell here, and so happy to introduce her product to you. And what is the name of the product?
This is it's just the dog diaper app.
Dog diaper, okay.
It's the Dog on Gear dog diaper app. Plug my name in there.
Outstanding, very good. Well, we'll talk to you very soon from WOWBIZ TV. I'm Lynn Hinderrocker, brought to you by Curzon Promotional Graphics and AlphaTech1.com. We'll get back to you very soon. I got a great new guest coming right up. Don't go away. What's the most important thing? If you own a company, you're trying to get the business going and grow the company. Is it leadership? Very important. Culture? Absolutely critical. Strategy? Oh, extremely important. None of them really matter unless you have talent. Got to have talent on your team. Can't do anything with the rest of those 3 variables I just mentioned. Welcome back to WOWBIZ Nebraska. I'm Lynn Hinderrocker. I'm here with a very special guest of mine, Doreen Blakely. She's awesome, and she's in the talent industry, and we're going to talk to her in 2 minutes, or less, really, 60 seconds. But I'm going to chat with you real briefly right now about the sponsors of this particular show, Curzon Promotional Graphics. Take a look at the graphics behind me. Are these awesome? Absolutely. Curzon Promotional Graphics, been around 30 years, right? They can take care of little things, massive things, signs, unbelievable. Digital, the creative, the production, all that. Curzon Promotional Graphics, go there first. If you're saying, yeah, we should probably have some better graphics, got to spiff it up, All right, now, so that's it. Boom, boom. Next one. AlphaTech1.com. Now, you don't know about them. They're new, right? Curzon, 30 years old, but you don't know about AlphaTech1.com. I'm bringing you something fresh here. And we all sit around with our computers and they don't work, and the viruses and they're slow, and turn on the laptop, doesn't seem to come together quickly. Our computers are quirky. We never update them correctly. I could go on and on. AlphaTech1.com will come to your house, come to your office, extricate it, pull it out of the system, call you later, right? Give you a quote. If it's good, they'll go ahead and fix it, do a great job. They know what they're doing, very, very strong in that regard, and bring it back, all right? And bring it back within 48 hours. Really, really convenient, saves a lot of grief. Please check them out, AlphaTech1.com. Pleasure to have them associated with WOWBIZ Nebraska. And speaking of people that I'm thrilled to be here is my good friend Doreen Blakely. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Good. Well, I'm warmed up. Are you warmed up?
I am.
All right. So how has the world, we live in a world now where unemployment's pretty low. Everybody that has a good credibility and background and da-da-da-da-da seems to be able to find a job. How has your career as a recruiter changed in the last few years? Is it harder to find people or easier? What's it like out there?
I think the dynamics of finding the actual people for the type of jobs that I fill is not as difficult as would be reflected in the unemployment rate.
The statistics don't really imply that much about what you're doing. And you're dealing with professionals mid and senior level.
Yes.
I'm assuming.
So they have that specific role, and it's just a matter of advancing their career to the next level. It's not responding to an ad that's on the internet. So that's where a lot of the technology has changed and how they respond to getting active candidates, where I'm working with passive candidates.
Passive, yeah. They're not looking necessarily to do anything, but you find them. Now, how do you find them, Doreen? I mean, is it you're just scanning LinkedIn and going from there?
Well, I've been in the business a really long time.
I opened that door and you walked right through it, so, hey, that's on you.
Yeah, so being in the industry as long as I have, I've made a lot of connections, and some of that comes into play that, yes, they could be on LinkedIn, they could be a reference check, any person I find on this, in a networking event.
You just make a note of their name and so on, their background, and then you call them if something seems remotely possible, right?
Right, and ultimately when I approach an individual, it is to ask them a simple question.
Yeah.
If I had an opportunity that appeared to be better than what you have today, would you want to hear about it?
Appeared to be better. Interesting.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Right, only they are to decide that.
All right, so let's talk about the priorities that would determine better. I think that's really a fascinating thing. Because I keep hearing again and again, do people say, talk to me about the money right off the bat? Or do they say, well, I'm looking for or I hate my boss, so I got to get out of here? Or is it about cultural fit? What are people looking for most of the time?
Challenge.
Challenge, the right challenge.
The right challenge and the right boss and the right culture.
Yeah. Okay.
And that really hasn't changed over the last 20-some years, is that advancement. And if an individual's willing to move for money, they're not the type of person I want to work with.
Yeah.
I can respect if the company hasn't been taking care of them and they legitimately aren't getting paid what the market should bear.
Right.
But if I'm just moving just for money,
no. Probably not a good candidate.
No. Because I want to be able to enhance their career with another role. Sure.
Now, what would be an example? Let's just choose one example out of thin air. Maybe it's somebody's a VP of, maybe technology, for instance. All right, would that be an example?
Let's do accounting, sales, or operations.
All right. Well, let's say sales manager someplace, okay?
Right.
And why wouldn't a sales manager stay there? What kind of a challenge is a sales? Easier to sell stuff or a more interesting product? How do you know? What do you do?
That's a good question, because it's really the variety of their job. With companies changing so quickly, that the product that they have to sell today is not the product that they have to sell tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fairly
And
common.
if this is archaic and nobody's buying it, and there's new technology out there that's replaced that, and the company is not advancing with the same technology, then
that's a bad thing to be the sales manager in that company, unless they have resources and say, hey, go ahead and help us get ahead, regain our momentum.
Right, because those individuals are energized by the challenge of a sale.
Yeah.
Right, and if I can't sell anything, well, I'm not making any money.
Because the product's not competitive.
Right, then I'm going to go somewhere that it can be a little bit more.
I get that. Yeah, I get that. So what's the next step for a person that is a recruiter? Do you pretty much doing the same thing today as you did, Doreen, 10 or 20 years ago? Or has it changed or evolved for you? Are you using technology to make life easier? What's it like to be a recruiter?
I would like to say technology has made it easier, but it necessarily
doesn't really feel like that.
No, because you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
And in my business, from a sales perspective, I have a product that has an opinion from two sides. My candidate has an opinion about what they want in a future job. And my client has an opinion. So technology really doesn't impact that. It's just kind of getting a feel for why people are wanting to talk to me. right? So, and even those reasons hasn't necessarily changed other than when we're going to talk about millennials.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about millennials because they really represent a distinct challenge. For years, we were told they didn't have the same kind of priorities. They didn't really care about the same stuff that other executives did care about. Now I'm reading some recent research that says that millennials are addicted to their work. They believe that work is the only real validation of who they are on the planet. They don't have strong spiritual values or other kinds of things. It's their job, and if it's not clicking for them, they feel worthless. And so it's a very interesting thing. What's your take on recruiting a millennial and convincing them to come over here?
Well, and I think we're kind of giving them a bad rap from all of what you just said.
Yeah.
Because in reality, we've created our children, which is the millennials. Sorry, I'm aging myself again.
Yeah,
right?
No, that's right.
On the fact that, we give them participation awards just for showing up. So what do you expect in a workforce? They just show up. Well, shouldn't I get recognized for the fact I came to work today?
That's right. Yeah.
Because we taught them to do that.
Yeah.
In reality, where now they really want to be able to, they're not the traditional 8 to 5 where the baby boomers, came to an organization, stayed there for 30 years, maybe had a little different challenge in their job. These individuals have had so much coming at them their entire lives. Think about how fast technology changes, how fast just reality changes.
And also instant gratification is part of that whole fluidity and moving quickly and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think companies need to engage just that type of personality and accept it more, that there's nothing wrong with those individuals. They're just different than the culture that we've had in the past.
Yeah. If I'm in an industry like, I don't know, we'll say accounting or something like that, and I have a dozen of these younger folks there, and they show up at work late, they leave early, they're a little bit aloof, and maybe don't seem to get the work done A+. They seem to maybe cut corners or something like that. What's the best way, in your opinion, to relate to those people and to chat and maybe help them raise the bar? How do you motivate somebody like that to do a better job?
Better onboarding. Because in reality, when a person accepts a job and they come in, they're excited about that job.
Yeah.
They want to do well.
Yeah, that's the time that you kind of clarify what we're about here.
And you've engaged at the level of expectations. So a lot of times companies will get the person on board and they're multitasking, have a lot to accomplish, and just expect you to figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, they need to engage them better. They need to set expectations that, hey, this culture is you come in at 8 o'clock, you clock it, and that should have been set forth in the interview process alone.
Yeah. Now maybe, let's flip it around quickly, maybe the accountants in this particular case need to loosen up. Maybe there's something they can learn from the millennials in terms of maybe they'd be more productive if they left the office and go worked at Panera's and did their calculations there. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying, doesn't the millennial generation have something to teach the veterans that are running companies?
Yes, I think they do. And believe it or not, accountants can be millennials all at the same time.
Of course.
That they've come up in that age.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's the changing the roles to understand expectations for performance versus the mentality that I have to see you in the office when I'm there.
Yeah.
Me being the boss, I come in at 7 a.m.
Micromanaging.
You'd better show up at 8 o'clock. You'd better,
Yeah.
be there until I leave.
Yeah.
That mentality has to change to be more performance-based.
I see.
What do I expect that individual to do during that time frame? That's awesome that I want them there because I like their company.
Yeah.
But what literally has to be done? Is it 5 meetings, because we can kill ourselves with meetings all day?
Yeah.
Or is it, I need to produce this amount and then go home?
Yeah.
Right? Why do I have to stay around just to stay here?
I think that's the big idea there. I think first of all we clarify our expectations, but I think there are things that they can teach us. It reminds me of Tom Peters back in 1999. He had a lot of really interesting ideas about the future of work, and we're seeing it right now all unfolding right in front of us 20 years later, but it's here.
Yep.
And it seems like millennials, for instance, purpose-driven careers, right? A lot of discussion with millennial research about they want to be involved in something at the office that goes beyond this quarter's numbers. They want the company to somehow be involved and serve the greater good. In your opinion, how likely is it that business owners and so on are going to receive that advice and say, okay, we're going to go ahead and try to do that? What do you think?
I hope the answer is yes.
Yes.
Because I think there's give and take. right? When a new hire gets brought on, why not establish a mentorship with that individual? So even the mentor and the mentee are learning something from each other that can develop that kind of culture. Open expectations.
I think that's a possibility, and I sure hope that we are mature enough and permeable enough to be able to absorb the good things that these people are bringing to the party. Don't
Absolutely,
you agree?
yes.
Okay.
Because they do have a lot to bring to the table.
Doreen, the name of your company again is Allied Enterprises?
Alliance Enterprises.
Excuse me, allianceenterprises.com.
Yep, Alliance Enterprise. AllianceOmaha.com.
Thank you. I'm so glad that we stopped and got that right. AllianceOmaha.com.
AllianceOmaha.com.
Doreen Blakely.
Yep.
Been doing this for what, 25 years?
Not quite.
But close. All right. Thanks for watching us here on WOWBIZ Nebraska. I'm Lynn Hinderrocker. Check us out next time. I bring you all kinds of knowledge and insight. It's fantastic and trends. You're smarter than when you turned on the TV. Don't throw anything at the TV screen. Tune us back in. We'll see you next time. Thanks again.